Hello, BookTube. What's up for a little mail? This midweek mail. I've got a small stack of books here, and I'm getting a good vibe of something in here. Something here is tripping my Spider-Sense. So there almost certainly is going to be something in here that's squeal-worthy. Let's just see. We can hope for more than one thing. Let's see. Let's see what this first one is. Okay, this first one is historical romance, it looks like. Wow, did not know this was coming. Okay, this is Christian historical romance set in. This is coming out in January. This is The Thief of Lanvin Manor by Sarah Ladd. Nice looking thing. Yes, this is by. It's from Thomas Nelson, and the pub sheet says that it's perfect for fans of Poldark. Oh, and it's a Regency romance. It is a Regency romance set in Cornwall. Exploring the secrets within one of its historic manor houses. I have been in every inch of every one of those manor houses, including some that aren't around anymore. Let's see here. So the setting is 1888, England in 1818. A diversion is what Julia Trethway needs to mend her broken heart. So when her aunt invites her to Lanvin Manor to be a companion to her pregnant cousin, Julia eagerly accepts. Lanvin Manor is at the heart of Cornwall's thriving mining industry, and as a guest there, Julia is instantly swept into its world of balls and parties. Despite her initial enchantment with her new surroundings, she soon realizes something dark lurks in Lanvin Manor's ancient halls. As a respected tin mine owner's youngest son, Isaac Blake knows his place in his family, their business, and the community. He's determined to keep his late father's legacy alive and make their family business profitable, but his brother's clandestine dealings are driving them to bankruptcy. In order to save their livelihood, they plan to ask the master of Lanvin Manor to invest in their expansion plans. Isaac can't deny his attraction to his host's charming niece, but his brother has made his intentions to court the lovely guest clear. Okay, I'm not seeing where God comes into this. This is billed as Christian fiction. Let's see here. Both eager for justice, Julia and Isaac join forces to uncover who is behind the thefts. By doing so, Isaac must choose between his family and justice, and Julia must put her faith in God or face what she fears most. Okay. All right. So this author won the 2011 Genesis Award for historical romance. She's a graduate of Ball State University and has more than 10 years of marketing experience. She lives in Indiana with her family and a spunky golden retriever. And this is Christian Regency romance. So not a bad way to start the mail haul. It's 2020, so I won't be dealing with it right away, but I almost never read anything like that. I mean, in normal Harlequin and other style Avon and St. Martin's Regency romances, all of the characters, of course, are Christian. And there are scenes in churches, and there are often clerics, but it's not a big deal. It's not an active faith. It's a social dressing. So I almost never read anything like this. That's going to be fascinating. Let's see. I mean, that element's going to be fascinating. I'm hoping that the romance parts of it are also really good. Let's see what this next one is. Okay, well, you don't want to stick the pub sheet inside the book. Okay, this comes out in early November. This is We Are Indivisible, a blueprint for democracy after Trump. Very odd choice of title. Very odd choice of title. The country has never been more divided. It is obviously not indivisible. Maybe they're talking about the resistance. Let's see here. Shortly after Trump's election, two outraged former congressional staffers wrote and posted a tactical guide to resisting the Trump agenda. This Google Doc entitled Indivisible, well, okay, it is. It was meant to be read by friends and family, but no one could have predicted what happened next. It went viral, sparking the creation of thousands of local indivisible groups in red, blue, and purple states, mobilizing millions of people and evolving into a defining movement of the Trump era. From crowding town halls to killing Trump care to rallying around candidates to build the blue wave, Indivisibles powered the fight against Trump and pushed the limits of what was politically possible by taking regular, iterative, and increasingly complex actions to resist the GOP's agenda, elect local champions, and fight for progressive policies. Okay. Not sure how successful they've been, right? If that was their goal, I don't know how successful they've been. Most state legislatures are still in Republican hands. And the Trump administration has absolutely gutted everything worthwhile that the Obama administration did. It took them 2 years to undo 8 years worth of work. I'm not talking just on the international stage, pulling us out of climate accords, nixing the Iran nuclear deal. I'm talking about smaller stuff as well. Work safety, environmental protection, all kinds of things like that have just been gutted. They don't exist anymore. They're going to have to be rebuilt from scratch if a non-Republican ever takes office. I don't think that's ever going to happen. But if that does, if right now the country has a normal political party that is, heavily moneyed and muddled and to a large extent corrupt, but full of people who are also true believers. That is one of the parties, one of the two political parties in the country right now, is that. And that's the Democratic Party. And the other party is a millenarial death cult, a group of people who are saying, to hell with my grandchildren's future, to hell with their world, to hell with the economy, to hell with the deficit, to hell with anything. Because history ends when I close my eyes for the last time. When I die, there's no more history. It's an end of the world death cult. The bitterness of seeing my Republican Party become that doesn't have a word. It doesn't have a word in English or any other language that I know. But nevertheless, that attitude can make you very effective. If you just want to burn things down, that you can be very effective. And the Trump administration has been very effective. So I don't know how effective the Indivisible group has been. Hailed as the breakout stars of the new activists, Ezra Levin and Leah Greenberg, the two authors of this book, those outraged former congressional staffers, now married, by the way, are bringing their deep political know-how to us all with a book that outlines where we're going and how change comes to Washington by advancing an inclusive democracy that doesn't just take on Trump, but also takes on the forces that allowed him to rise. This book will draw on the author's astonishing success and first-hand experience in the movement, explaining their story, lessons they've learned over the last 2 years on the front lines in building and applying power, and how we can win the coming fight for the future of the American political system. It's no coincidence that this book will launch exactly 1 year before the 2020 elections. The goal is clear. Let's work towards ushering in a new era of American democracy. Okay. All right, so as you could tell from that, this comes out in November. This comes out on November 5th. And it has a cover blurb from Rachel Maddow. So it has a target audience. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I have made it clear on this channel, and I'm still thinking about it. That I don't think there are huge divisions in the United States. There are huge divisions all over the world. I think that those don't have much to do with politics or a political agenda of any one group in power. I really think, especially in America, but I see signs of it in France and also in the UK. I really think this is a dividing line between groups of people, between kinds of people, not between political parties. I'm still trying to put my finger on what it is. I know that there are people who, many people in the United States who follow and back anything that Donald Trump does, even though they know it's corrupt. They know that it's indefensible. They know that they would not be defending or backing this kind of behavior if it was the behavior of someone they knew in their life. They know that. They're willing to say that. And they're willing to go one step further when you ask them, well, okay, then that's an obvious contradiction. So why are you doing this? Do you love the guy that much? A lot of these people will say, no, I don't like him at all. I think he's a jerk. He seems slimy to me. But what I hate more is the people who hate him. I hate them more. Much more. I don't care about politics. I don't know how many times I've heard that from people who are, in a sense, supporting Trump. You quiz them on it, and you quickly hear them say, I don't care about politics. What I hate is that kind of person. And a lot of those people, I'm still trying to figure out what the dividing line actually is. My first instinct, and I'm hoping that it's not right, is education level. I hope that I'm not right, but it looks to me like a yawning gap, a war is brewing between two kinds of people in the world, the educated people and the uneducated people. And that would be horrifying. This is kind of what I was thinking about when we saw that book on the Cultural Revolution. I hope I'm wrong about it. I piece together all of these stories. I talk to people from all sides of the political and sociological spectrum, trying to get a handle on what it is that causes both sides to be so acidically hateful of the other side. Politics doesn't do that. And it isn't all racism, because as far as I can see, it's crossing skin tones. It's crossing racial barriers. I think it has to do with the kind of person that you don't like Trump, you don't like his family, you don't like Rudy Giuliani, you don't like any of the stuff you see in the news, you don't like children in cages on the border, you don't like anything like that. But you hate even more the people on the other side. The ones who call you a garbage person, the one who say you're on the wrong side of history. That kind of absolutist cancel culture language is now being exchanged in both directions. And anyway, long and the short is I will read the book. So let's move on. Oh wow! What on earth? What is this? What is this? Okay. All right. Incredible. Okay, this comes out in March. This is another World War II book. It's another keyhole history of World War II. This is by Colonel Art Shaw, with an assist by Robert Wise, and it's called 82 Days on Okinawa, One American's Unforgettable First-Hand Account of the Pacific War's Greatest Battle. 82 Days on Okinawa. Wait till you hear this. What have we got here? Timed for the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Okinawa on April 1st, 1945, more than 1,500 Allied ships and over 1.5 million men launched the largest amphibious assault in the Pacific War. Colonel Arthur Shaw was the first American officer ashore during the invasion and served on the front lines for the battle's entire 82-day span. A unit commander in the U.S. Army's 361st Artillery Battalion of the 96th Division, Shaw and his men, alongside the Allied forces, bravely fought the Japanese Army in what is now understood to be the Pacific War's bloodiest battle. By its conclusion, more than 150,000 soldiers would die as a part of the battle. Incredible. Incredible. At 25 years old, Shaw's heroics at the Battle of Okinawa earned him a Bronze Star. And now, at 99 years young, he's ready to tell his remarkable story with amazing detail for the first time. A 99-year-old survivor of the Battle of Okinawa, and not just any survivor. This is going to become a classic. I wonder if that's the author on the cover. This is going to become a classic. Incredible. He's 99 years old, and he wrote his account of leading the troops at the Battle of Okinawa. That is great. Okay, all right. This comes out on. Let's see. I want to make sure I get the time. Oh wow! Look at that. There's our author. Okay, so this comes out on March 20th. Okay, all right, great, fantastic, fascinating. Although I don't think that's what set out for my Spidey-Sense. I could be wrong. I think it's still to come because it's still going off. Let's see here. Okay, all right. This is another World War II book, another World War II keyhole history. So this one's coming right up though. This is late October. This is Brett Baer. This is a finished copy of 3 Days at the Brink. This is FDR's daring gamble to win World War II. And this is by a Fox employee, a Fox correspondent, a Fox talking news head. Let's see here. November 1943, with the fate of World War II in doubt and Nazi assassins rumored to be on his trail, President Roosevelt traveled in secret to Tehran for a clandestine meeting that plotted the war's victorious endgame. Though now overshadowed by Yalta and later summits, those critical 3 days at the edge of the desert forever altered the path of history. This is the subject of an extraordinary new appraisal of the Tehran Conference and of FDR's leadership. And it's going to be a little bit overshadowed there was just a gigantic book by Nigel Hamilton on FDR at the end of his life and at the end of his command of World War II. And if I remember correctly, the Tehran Conference featured prominently in that book. But this is just that. This isn't anything else. Brett Baer is the chief political anchor for Fox News. and has provided fresh perspectives on key moments in diplomatic crisis with his acclaimed histories 3 Days in Moscow and 3 Days in January, Dwight Eisenhower's final mission. I believe I reviewed at least one of those. I might have reviewed them both. Again, I will leave links to everything down below. And in this book, he tells the story of the Tehran Conference. Okay, so the first standalone history of the Tehran Conference that I've read in quite some time. And Bret Baier he writes, his sort of co-writer is Catherine Whitney, and he does a fairly good job. These aren't what you might expect. You might expect them to be a little contemptible, parvenu history by people who have a day job, who aren't really historians. But I found his fairly enjoyable. So I have an advanced copy of this thing that I haven't got to. So this will go on the October shelf, and I will just get to it in October. I'm still cleaning up September. So now we have this next one. What is this next one? It's fairly big. What is this? Oh, all right. This might be my Spidey-Sense. Oh, boy. Okay, this is the finished copy of something we saw already. This also comes out in late October. And this is, oh boy, this is from Vintage Books. And this is the Big Book of Real Murders. Edited by Otto Penzler, the great Otto Penzler. This is all about murder mysteries. These are murder mysteries that inspired or were the template for TV and movies, for great films. Oh, fantastic. Lights, camera, action. The latest book in the Big Book series takes us behind the curtain to uncover the stories that became some of the greatest films of the silver screen. There's Somerset Maugham's short story that inspired Hitchcock's Secret Agent. There's Robert Louis Stevenson's horrifying tale that was later turned into the iconic movie The Body Snatcher, starring Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff. There's Ian Fleming's From a View to a Kill, later one of Roger Moore's greatest Bond films. Fantastic. I have the advanced copy of this. This is also an October book. I have the advanced copy of this, and I haven't got to it yet. And now I will. So this is 1,200 pages, and it comes out on the 22nd of October. And just so that you know, it's got Dashiell Hammett, Agatha Christie, Arthur Conan Doyle, Daphne du Maurier, Joyce Carol Oates, Dennis Lehane. Tons and tons of stuff in here. And of course, Gumshoe Who is Smoking, just so that we know that it's real, because it's not real if you're not burning your own lung tissue. And then we'll finish up. This is the last one. So this has been some good items in here. Steve is pleased. Let's see what we have. What's the last thing here? Oh, fantastic. Okay, this is the finished copy. Also an October book. October's going to take a beating. I just moved my October shelves. I just cleared off all of the September stuff. That was heartbreaking because September was a huge month. Huge. I would have had to do 5 reviews a day just to keep ahead of what I got. I moved off a lot of the September books, and I moved up the October books and organized them. And there's always a moment. There's a moment when you do that where you look at the new month, and except for September. September in 2019, I didn't think that at all. But ordinarily, you move up all the books, and you think, oh, okay, well, that looks fairly handleable. That's going to change because I'm getting buried in October books. That's going to change everything. But this is the finished copy of Michael Newton's book, Show People, A History of the Film Star. Traversing more than 100 years and drawing on screen idols from America, Britain, Europe, and Asia, Show People offers a comprehensive history of the idea of the film star, from Mary Pickford to Andy Serkis. Renowned film writer Michael Newton builds up an expansive picture of movie stardom through explorations of the striking and diverse figures such as Ingrid Bergman, John Wayne, Sidney Poitier, Maggie Cheung, Raj Kapoor. Exploring our enduring love affair with fame, glamour, and the cinematic image, he celebrates the great performers of the past and looks forward to the developments in the future. Developments in the future. So does that mean that Timothée Chalamet has an entry in the index? Let's slip on over to the C's and see if that is true, shall we? Get ready to be extremely upset. No, he is not. Okay, great. All right, great. Great. Because from 2020 on, you are not allowed to talk about movie stars without mentioning him not only first, but preferably only. And from 2020 on, he is the only star billed in any movie. And the Hollywood brass are looking for a way to join the two bandwagons so that not only is Timothée Chalamet the only person that you can see in a movie theater, but that the only movies that you can see in theaters starring him are adaptations of novels by Sally Rooney. They're hoping to bring those two bandwagons together and just cut out all the rest of the competition. Why bother with anything else? Okay, great. All right, fantastic. This is also an October book. That is great. I think it was probably the Pensla book that set me off here, though. So we have the big book of real murders. Gotta love a 1,200-page book. That's a perker-upper. Then Show People, A History of the Film Star. We have 3 Days at the Brink, Brett Bayer's new book on the Tehran Conference. We have 82 Days on Okinawa by someone who was there. He's 99 years old. Amazing. We have We Are Indivisible, a book about the two people who started the movement. And the last one is The Thief of Lanvin Manor, a Christian Regency romance that's coming out in 2020. So, not a bad mail haul. I've got lots to sink my teeth into here and lots to put in my October list. So I will go do that. But I will be back. So I'll wrap this up for now, but I'll see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.